How's it going? I'm Mike. I'm going to be talking about some of the tips I like to use when I approach writing a screenplay. First of all, writing at times can be one of the hardest things in the world, and I say that for a few reasons. Number one, it can be hard to express ourselves in just words alone. People have a lot of trouble with that. Cat hair. Yeah. A lot of people choose other ways to express themselves that are far away from writing, whether it's art or just writing music but not the lyrics to it. Number two, when writing for a screenplay, you're controlling exactly what every character thinks, what they do, what they don't do. They're essentially pieces on a chessboard that you have complete control over. And even though that gives you limitless possibilities, it also leaves you with trying to make the best possible choice for your screenplay to tell a good, engaging story. So with all those limitless possibilities comes, you know, thinking of the one idea that would make it the best it possibly could be. And the final reason is that it's just not easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to list off a few of the tips that I've learned and that I thought I find extremely helpful. Okay, so first tip is characters. It's always important to create characters that are relatable. That's probably the thing that you probably learn, in every major screenwriting class, but it's true. Creating relatable characters allows the audience to feel a part of that story and make them think, what if they were that character? What if that happened to me? That's the sense you want to give them. With that thought alone, you can get the audience interested in the story and the characters that are involved in. So technically, as the story progresses, the audience begins to care and feel for the characters and go along on the journey with them. Also, let's face it, nobody enjoys seeing boring characters on screen. We go to the movies to have thrills and watch and interesting stories and interesting characters and be entertained. So, another tip I'd like to share is just make sure that when you're writing for characters, try and have a sense of how you would want it to be acted. I know that seems kind of stupid because that's why you know what you're writing, but make sure that you know how the character is going to say it, the inflection in their voice or the anger or whatever it is. That way, it brings your screenplay to life once you finally have actors and you're getting them to play the roles. Okay, my second tip: it's always important to write from what you know. I found that it's very important because for a few reasons. One being that it helps you formulate ideas, but also okay. Thank you for walking across the screen. I appreciate that. It's my kitten. Get over here. Uh, there she is. Look, there's a camera. What's that? Okay, she wants to go. She wants to go. All right. Anyways, as I was saying, try and draw inspiration from your everyday life encounters. They say write what you know, and it's important to do so because technically, it's easier when you're passionate about a certain subject. For the screenplay I wrote, I never drew from any real life experiences, but I had some of my thoughts on certain issues, or not issues, but things come up within my characters. So even though it wasn't a major plot point, but it still kind of comes out through the characters. So, like I said, just try and find inspiration from your own life because it'll be a lot easier translating that to screen. Also, it's not to say you shouldn't, try writing something you don't know about because that way you can actually do some research and learn about something. If you're going to write for something you don't know about, it's very important to get a lot of research on that subject and try and tackle it from a lot of different angles because when you do that, it allows your story to be more rounded out and it doesn't leave you with some of your facts out or depending what your story is about. So just make sure you do a lot of research. My third tip is music. I like to think music sparks something inside of everyone. When you hear one of your favorite songs, you can't help but feel a certain emotion, or different songs can do different things for everyone. So my number three tip is music. I find that when I have my iTunes on, I find it I can write very easily. It just kind of puts me in the scene. It's very helpful. Um, Also, another thing I like to do is I like to maybe choose a particular song and I would write the scene to that song. So I'll have it playing on my computer, and then I'll be typing along with the scene. So it kind of helps, give it some sort of flow, and also helps you as a writer kind of be like, oh yeah, this works when I'm doing this or whatnot. So that's my third tip is music. It's very, very crucial. Probably my favorite tip. Last tip I'll share is don't be afraid to talk to other people about your ideas. I find that some of my best ideas, well, I can't really call them my best ideas because I formulate them with other people, but my my the best ideas, I should say, come from when I'm with other people. I find like it's example I could be at a coffee shop with a friend and we're discussing a movie, and he comes up with something very funny, and then I'll think of something funnier, and then he'll think of something that's even funnier than that. It complements the original idea very well. So yeah. Um, Also, it's important to understand that writing is a very team-oriented process. I mean, if you notice, a lot of films these days have two writers or even three credited to the film. It's not very often you see just one. So don't be afraid to ask your parents, your siblings, or a friend to read over your script because in the long run they can, make it even better for you, and you can work together and it can become very good. All right, well, that's it for my screenplay video blog. I hope you were able to take something away from it. If you have any comments or suggestions, just post them in the comment tab. I don't really go on YouTube very often at all, but I'll see it in my email. So if I do see it, I'll make sure to respond. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in and take care. I'll see you later.